Hit go. Hello! Hey, Norway! Hello, Eurovision fans. And hello, Jonathan. How are you?
Hello, I'm good, thank you.
Oliver, hello!
Hello, darling.
Oh my god. You guys, we have just watched MGP semi-final 2 in Norway. There were 4 artists, and at the end of it, it was Farida. Oh, sorry, there we go. It was Farida who took the spot in the grand final. We need to discuss this. Let's just kick this off with our thoughts on the winning song and winning performance, Jonathan.
I think it was the clear winner out of the 4 songs. It wasn't really hard to achieve considering what we saw. But it was definitely the most sort of put together song and just sort of general performance, really. That being said, I still don't really find it the most convincing thing. I'm not sure it's going to do that much damage in the grand final. I did like just the dynamism of the backing singers slash violin players was an interesting twist. I was a bit worried they were going to poke someone's eye out with the sort of strumming. I had flashbacks to Jade Ewan and her 2009 performance getting hit in the head. And whilst it was nice to have them, by the end of it, I did sort of think that they were maybe leaning on the side of distracting from just the general song and Farida's performance. So, yeah, overall, the standout winner, but still not one that is sort of highly ranked for me at the moment.
Oliver, what did you think?
Mixed feelings for me on this one. I'm going to echo a lot of what Jonathan said. I think there is like a Bond feeling to this. It's very Skyfall and almost by numbers. And I feel like the song, while a good kind of a good genre, a good recipe of success to follow, it is phoning it in a little bit. Not really to my liking, but hey, I mean, what is? The dancers being the violinists also being the dancers, I thought was a really clever choice. You know, you've got a limited number of people on stage, and if you can have 2 people or one group of people playing 2 different roles, I think that's a really clever use of space. And it definitely added an element of dynamism to what I think would have been really boring if they were just stood there. The piano lighting on fire is a very, very bold move to make, especially when you know the fate of the makes at Eurovision 2015. Nil points, 0 points, bottom of the leaderboard. I don't see the point of it. There was some mismatching elements here, but I will say that Farida has a very strong voice. It is a genre that appeals to a lot of people. And although I don't think it necessarily went with the performance and went with the songs, I love her outfit. This green and this black moment. And then I think her t-shirt has herself on it. And I just think that's a power move. Like, why not? I love that.
So I don't want to sound vulgar, but when the performance opened and her violinists were squatting and doing, playing their instruments, I was worried someone might defecate on the stage. I thought it was very provocative. It was very twerk, booty nasty. This was an interesting performance. I think the staging was perhaps a bit messy. There was a lot going on with those instrumentalists. They were thinking outside of the box, which I respect and appreciate, but this is not what I was expecting with my Bond anthem. No, I was not. I think this was definitely the most kind of modern, contemporary, and well-voiced of the songs. I think in this semifinal, she was the obvious winner. She's not my personal winner, but she was the obvious winner of this. I just want to shout out some comments from our readers who are following along on Wiwibloggs right now. Yes, you guys, this is live, just so you know. Lavenda says, I was surprised Farida won. I was hoping for Daniel. And Eurofan says, oh my god, I haven't recovered from all that stress. I thought Stefan was going to win for a second. Now look, we're going to turn to each of the duels. So let's go to duel number 1. In this duel, we had Lilly Löwe, Bad Baby versus Steffen Jakobsen with me tonight. Look, let me give you my hot take. Lilly Löwe had a good song, but she was screechy. On those big notes, our girl was screechy. She definitely wanted to win, and that ambition came through, but I think it threw her voice off. I liked her outfit. I go for black and tight with silver spangles, yes? I just don't think it was the best performance. I think he gave a better performance. His song is actually my favorite song in the semifinal. Which doesn't necessarily say that much given the quality of the semifinal. However, for me, I was rooting for Stefan, and I was happy that he won because it felt more authentic and less forced. Jonathan.
My comment was, is there a neither option when in this dual voting? I was, a bit let down by both of them. I thought, Lilly sort of came out strong, but then it maybe didn't go where it sort of really needed to. I quite liked the Burning Heart moment when that popped up. That was quite nice. But just the general sort of feeling and aura of the song just seemed a bit off. And whilst we had a couple of rock songs in the last semi-final as well, and I think they generally delivered things a bit better, and obviously one went to the final as well. So and then the sort of the country offering was again not really my sort of thing. It sort of plodded along nicely, but again didn't really go anywhere, and I wasn't really particularly feeling that one either. So sorry.
Yeah, nobody's breaking any boundaries here, let's be real. I think, again, it's phoning it in. It's painting by numbers in both of the songs. I will say we're at the point in national final season where a lot of opinions start to change, I think, because we listen to all of these songs on Studio Cut, we get our opinions there, and then we see them live and they are completely different. Going into the semi-final, I actually thought that Lilly could have won because last week we had Black Flowers winning, and that was unexpected before the live show. But then comes the live show and I see Lilly perform and I think, this isn't going to win. I like this idea of it's kind of glam rock, like 70s glam rock, but for a new generation. The look wasn't right for me. The staging, there was a lot of empty space, and it was very screechy, like we have to be honest there, but I do love the energy. Stefan, on the other hand, it's nice. I don't have any major complaints, but it doesn't have any momentum. Love the fringe, love a cowboy fringe, but I mean, there was nothing that was impressing me. I'm always thinking ahead to Eurovision and thinking, is this going to make me want to pick up a phone and vote? Is this going to stand out of a crowd from 25, 26 other competitors? No, not a chance.
Yeah. Your option, Jonathan, for, neither, that was repeated a lot on Twitter. People were not feeling this duel. So let's move on to duel number 2. This was Farida, of course, versus Daniel Lukas. Now, Daniel's performance reminded me of Anton Ewald's most recent effort at Melodifestivalen with those laser beams everywhere. However, he didn't really have the swagger. He didn't have the dancing ability. He didn't have the attitude to pull it off. So it ended up being a cheap man's Anton Ewald. There were the two dancers in matching burgundy suits. That was nice. It was a sea of suave. I'm not going to say he doesn't have charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent. But I think he maybe was nervous, and so he didn't amp it up. Like, turn up the heat or go down in flames, honey. And I'm sorry, this was a crash and burn moment. Also, I don't like the song. I'm really sorry. I think it's a little cheap. And that's all I'm going to say. Jonathan.
Well, those who saw our Melfest videos last year will know how much of a fan of Anton Ewald I was, and when I saw sort of this opening up with him, Daniel stood there in a burgundy suit, two backing dancers, lasers, I was ready to go full-on fanboy over this. I thought this was going to be right up my street. It was going to be the one that was going to win. And then it sort of went along, and it was just really unfortunate that he went out of time with the dancing, and it just didn't all come together. He could have, I think, really done with another week or so to really nail it down and put it all together and give it the oomph that it needed, because the package was sort of only really 50% there. They definitely needed to take it a lot further, and so yeah, I was a bit disappointed as it went on, and I feel a bit bad, because I'm sure, as you said, nerves came into play, and he could probably have delivered a better performance in rehearsals, but yeah, unfortunately on the night it just didn't come together.
I just want to share one thing. In his bio it says he used to be a swimmer, so he is used to laying it all out there. If you're gonna jump in a pool in front of an audience in a Speedo, I mean, you're probably real comfortable with yourself. So I expected him to really just kind of let loose, but there was a real stiffness to the performance. Oliver.
I want to comment on that stiffness, actually, and I think that part of that comes from how he was dressed and kind of positioned on the stage. This burgundy suit, while I really like the colour, I'm talking a lot about fashion this evening, I don't really know what's come over me, but it didn't fit him right. It was way too big around the collar. Like, every time he moved, there was kind of this movement here that just was really distracting for me. That being in an outfit that you're not necessarily comfortable in, as well as putting a kind of suit with this like dancey, more club ready song, those elements don't quite meet. There's no amalgamation there. I don't quite know how to put it, but they're just contrasting and not in the best way. Yeah, immediately I thought when this kicked up, it's going to be Anton Ewald. I thought we were going to get a Benjamin Ingrosso moment, but no, completely fell flat. Studio cut again is fine, nothing groundbreaking. It just really upsets me that I think Daniel just isn't quite ready for this moment on the stage. I think there's a lot of charisma there. I think he's got a big personality, but it's channeling that through the right kind of music, and I don't think this is the song for him.
Yes, so some general thoughts before we move away from the duels. This national final season, we have so many songs. I mean, all over the place. 22 in Malta, 46 in Romania. There were more than 40 in Estonia. We've got 21 in Norway? This is a lot. 20, was it 17 now in Latvia? It's too many songs. But obviously a broadcaster has to focus on their own country, right? So the others don't matter. But I do think in the case of Finland, you cull, you have 7, you have consistent quality, right? Even if not every song appeals to you, you recognize the quality. In this MGP this year, I've got to say, there are not many songs that appeal to me. And I hate to say that. But like tonight's show was really difficult for me to finish. I was glad Farida won because I think she's got something special going on. But this was a real slog for me. And so I'm just going to end with a statement. This is the duel section. A statement from our website. This is Sabrina. If Farida sounded that good while being that nervous, can't wait to check out what she can do if she controls her nerves for the final. Bring it, girl. We want to see you slay another day. Jonathan, final thoughts on the duels?
Well, yeah, I mean, for the gold duel, I sort of switched over to Lithuania and had a look at what was happening in their selection. I was like, I've sort of seen them both once. I'm not in a grand mood to watch them both again. I'll go and watch something new, really. So yeah, it's an unfortunate one, really, with this semi-final. I'm just generally disappointed for Alina Noelia, who sang Ecstasy last week and lost out in that gold duel. She would have absolutely smashed tonight. She delivered vocals, performance, lighting, everything. So I, to be honest, would have chosen her over all 4 of the songs tonight.
Oliver.
Bold statements. Yeah, I'm going to speak more generally about MGP and say get rid of the duels format. I think that this is really, just generally speaking, I think that the MGP semi-finals are a bit of a slog to get through. From the broadcaster's perspective, I completely understand that they're making more content to kind of fill an hour and a half of programming, but as a viewer, it just gets boring when it gets this predictable. And as well, like we've got Melodi Festival and moving away from the duels in what was Andre Chansen to this semi-final 5 format. I don't really see the point of pitting songs against each other like this when they are bringing something completely different, because who knows if they were pulled together. Ecstasy, I forget the singer's name, I'm sorry.
Noelia.
Repeat that for me. Yes, she could have gone all the way in a different format. Besides the point, I do think all of these artists are talented, and I do think they all have something to offer, but tonight I don't think was the best showing for anybody.
Listen, all the queens on RuPaul's Drag Race have talent, but you gotta show up and show out. You gotta bring the dresses, okay? When RuPaul sends you the list of challenges for that season, you bring the dress for each challenge. Don't show up with a subpar song. All right. Listen, in exhibition this evening was Christian from A1. What was the song? World of Wonder? Wonder World?
Wonder of the World.
All I know is this. This was not a wonder of the world. This was the cheesiest performance I have seen in years. I don't know why he decided to come back with this. I do understand why he's a pre-qualified finalist, and that's because producers want to have a show with different types of music, appealing to different demographics, and there's no way this would have ever qualified through any semifinal, because it's really from another era. I mean, Ira Lasko was given us Seventh Wonder back in 2002. This was just... When his instrumentalist appeared, the people on the strings, I was hoping they would pull some Farida instrumental twerking to give me something to look at. This is just pure cheese. I'm sorry. I forget what he rhymed with Petra. Was it Betcha with Petra? It was just awkward. Forgetcha, Petra. The whole thing, honestly, it was an overdose of sugar. It was too saccharine. I'm going to stop before I say anything rude, Jonathan.
Yeah, I was watching it and thinking this is very Eurovision 2000s, if not before. It was not. It is not a song for contemporary music markets. I again don't think it will be doing massive damage in the grand final in terms of music. His name and being part of that boy band will give him some sort of edge, but yeah, it's definitely not something Norway should really consider moving forward any stage, really. I think, to me, that there have been better songs in the semi-finals that deserve that auto qualifier spot. Really, it's not something that I'm going to be putting on repeat at all in the future. So yeah, it's again, it was another letdown to a rather poor semi-final overall, really.
Yeah, I don't know why this is pre-qualified. I know it's because of the name. I know it's because of the genre difference, but it's almost insulting to the point where the producers consider this more deserving of a spot in the final than some of the other songs that we will eventually see eliminated. It's just so poor. Like, I can't put it any other way than that. Really, the rhyming temples of Petra with Forgetcha. I'm trying to say something more articulate than just sounding straight up mean, but it's very difficult. I think that A1, everybody who was a member of A1 was really talented. I mean, Ben Adams wrote What Would You Do for Love by Ulrika, which was a great song that she came out with after Eurovision 2020 was cancelled. So there's clearly like a lot of kind of talent adjacent to A1. They've got kind of an adjacent history to Eurovision. So why he's not coming out with, something to blow our minds, something to really get us back invested in him as an artist, as a celebrity? It's a very strange choice. And yeah, sitting at a piano, I'd expect it like from Koitum in Estonia maybe, but like we've seen it before. This is not going to blow minds. This is not going to be remembered. I mean, those lyrics might be remembered for how bad they are, but no, it's not getting the votes.
So I want to shift gears now and read a series of comments all on a common theme. Lucy says, I can't wait for the Subwoofer next week. Lil Catherine says, Subwoofer about to own this show next week. Lil Catherine says, Subwoofer's video hit 100K. They've gone viral and there's nothing stopping them. Suspicious Moon says, Subwoofer gonna win, aren't they? And Naruto says, I thought Subwoofer was Ylvis and Ylvis are amazing. All of this to say, and this is on the Wiwibloggs website from Forrest Dezo. In the final gold duel, it will be Subwoofer and LC Bay. It's all televote. It will be close, but we will have Subwoofer going to Eurovision. You guys, what are your thoughts on that theory and your opinions on the song? Jonathan.
I think it's a real possibility. It is definitely one of the songs that I am most looking forward to finally seeing live. Working out if they're going to be singing underneath the masks or if someone else is singing, or exactly what exactly is going to be on, how many bananas we're going to have on stage, how many wolves we're going to have on stage. Yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting one to find out. I think there is the risk that they do take it too campy and everything. So depending on exactly how it is staged, I don't think it's necessarily a shoe-in winner if it sort of turns people off and then people prefer Elsie's more sort of sophisticated ballad, and I know Norway in general quite love a ballad really. So they are, definitely the two front runners, but I'm definitely really intrigued to see how it's going to be performed live.
Oliver.
Yeah, the same for me, really. I don't see a scenario where these two aren't the final two. Subwoofer is gimmicky, right? Like, let's not, dance around the fact that this is kind of jokey, but it's done in a way that you feel like you're in on the joke. And I think that's always key. Look at like Dancing Lasha Tumbai, even Little Big, poking fun at yourself, that kind of thing where we as an audience understand the joke. It's funny. They're laughing at themselves. We can laugh with them. It's a very good formula and it's done very well. In terms of the song, it leaves a little bit to be desired. I don't think it's a musical masterpiece, but that's not what they're going for. So yeah, they're doing very well. Elsie Bay, it's complete opposite sides of the spectrum, isn't it? There's, I think it'll come down to what Norway are feeling on the night. But if I had to place my bets now, it would be Subwoofer. Like, that there's going to be people in Subwoofer costumes at Eurovision 2022. Regardless of whether they win or not, that costume will go down in history, like iconic. Halloween 2022, we will see it at Eurovision events forevermore.
Maya hits the nail on the head. Can't wait for Subwoofer. Staging is key. It's key for both Subwoofer and LC Bay. We discussed this repeatedly in other videos, but LC Bay has the highest quality song. Unfortunately, her staging in that first semifinal was a letdown. The orchestra instruments in the background, like the silent orchestra idea, it just doesn't work. It's not compelling, and you could hear the audible wah wah, which is a shame because it's the best song in my mind. However, Subwoofer, they've got a really good song that, yes, it's jokey, but the production and stuff makes it serious enough that it's like, okay, I find myself listening to it, actually. I find it really funny. It keeps growing on me. So in a gold duel, the second time you hear it, it grows in estimation. Based on their music video, they will have epic staging. They already have the dance. And the dance, sometimes these kind of TikTok dance things are cringe. Theirs is not cringe. Theirs is not cringe. I'm like, yeah, y'all just came from outer space. Y'all came from outer space and brought some funky dance moves. For whatever reason, it works. Like, you've either got it or you don't, and they've got it. So, you know, who wins? Best overall package. Best overall package wins, and that may well include a banana. I mean, it just might. Jonathan, thoughts?
I do really like the song. It's after listening to all 21 or whatever, it was the initial one that stood out to me. It's the one that I have put on repeat the most over the past couple of weeks since it was released. So even if it isn't a musical masterpiece, it's just entertaining enough that it just puts a smile on people's faces. It will grab people's attention, and that is ultimately what you need to do at Eurovision.
Yeah, part of me wonders, I'm thinking back to last year, and when we say best overall package, do we think that Tix had the best overall package? Because I personally really loved it, but I think that part of his his momentum into the final, into NGP in general, was his level of fame, his celebrity in Norway at the time. Because looking back on it, Kaino had a really strong, everything there was very cohesive. It could have done really well at Eurovision as well. I'm sorry, I'm tripping over my words. But, I think it could really come down to that element of virality. And the people who are going viral and who are staying popular is Subwoofer. So, yeah, I see this swinging in their favor.
Honestly, bananas have potassium. I hope all of you are getting a few every single day. I know I'm going to have 2, maybe 4 if we count the gold final, the night of the MGP final. Yes. All right, look, we need to wrap this up. So final thoughts on MGP or this evening or the Eurovision selection season at large. Let me kick this off by saying, I wish we could get to the final of MGP now, because I think we all know it's Elsie Bay v Subwoofer, and there's a bit of padding in between. In terms of the second chance, I'm just not invested in it this year, because so far, everyone who's been eliminated, I feel like their songs deserve to be eliminated. Jonathan?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna stay hopeful. We'll still tune in to see what happens over the next couple of semi-finals. There are still a number of songs in there that I like, and hopefully they will have decent enough live versions as well, and won't be a letdown as well. Definitely in terms of a second chance, Alina Noelia is up there. She is the number one to sort of, of the eliminated acts that really deserves to be in that final, really. But yeah, it's difficult when you see the quality coming out of UMK and Finland, and how widely praised that has been, to then have to get through sort of 21 songs in Norway. It definitely is a bit of a contrast, and I know they want to have this big competition like Sweden do, and there are songs in Sweden that don't necessarily float the boat and easily get eliminated. So I'm quite happy for MGP to keep having this multi-week show, but I think in the stages leading up to it, maybe the people behind it just need to think a bit more about musical diversity and exactly which songs they're sort of selecting.
Yeah, same for me. Ultimately, they're putting this on for a domestic audience in Norway. They're not necessarily thinking about us Eurovision fans who are watching about 20 national selections by the time February rolls around. But I am struggling from a little bit of fatigue with national final season at the moment because there are so many this year. We've just had like Moldova and Montenegro and not Montenegro, sorry,
North
but
Macedonia.
So many countries. Yeah, right. There's so many countries just coming out of nowhere with these brand new formats, and I just think, oh, Norway is usually one of my favorites, and for Norway to be declining in quality after so many strong years, it upsets me, to be honest. I don't know if I'll be tuning in next week. It might be on in the background of something else. But hey, let's see. I'm really excited for the final because I think it will be a really good duel. The top four, then the top two, whoever the top four may be, I'm sure it's going to be really strong. I just wish we could push fast forward on that a little bit.
Final question, one word answer or 2 word. Okay, brief is the point. Who is your MGP 2022 winner, Jonathan?
Subwoofer at this stage.
Subwoofer.
Jujubee. No, my winner is Subwoofer as well. Subwoofer all the way. Well, that's what we think. What do you think? Did you love watching semi-final 2 of Melodi Grand Prix 2022? Did the right act go through? And who will win MGP? Let us know in the comment section down below.
Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and hit subscribe as well as that notification bell so you know exactly when all our videos are coming out.
We are on TikTok, we are on Facebook, we are on Twitter, Instagram, all of the above, and follow us at wiwibloggs.com because we have got a lot of content to get through this national season, and we're with you every step of the way.
And we will see you later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.